I was really wondering. So when I was reading this and I picked it up, knowing your background, I was like, man, there's going to be a lot of economics in this. I mean, obviously, COVID, the CARES Act. And I read this, and originally when I picked the book, I'm like, okay, this is going to be for entrepreneurs and small business owners. But the more I read it, I was thinking, this is for Americans.
Yeah.
Because you've done something with this, and I'm going to give you praise here by making this correlation. But we just got through the 4th of July, and one of the things that my family does is we watch the episode of John Adams, HBO John Adams, where they read the Declaration of Independence. And everyone knows that the preamble about all men created equal. Well, a lot of people who have not read the Declaration don't realize like 5/6 of that document are the evidentiary points of how the king screwed us over. So reading your book, you've done something which I think is fascinating. It's not just a case based on evidence, but you do something that so many people do not do. You tie capitalism not just to economics, but to personal liberty. The attacks on small businesses are attacks on our liberty. So I found that fascinating. And my question to you is, most people who I've talked to about capitalism don't make that connection. Where did you learn to make these connections? Was this through your reading, your experiences? How did you do this?
I mean, Lord, that's a great question. I've been studying markets, and so kind of de facto studying capitalism like my entire life. I've been fascinated by the concept of markets and freedom and entrepreneurship and those kinds of things. But I was never political. I got dragged into this kind of political sphere unintentionally. And I was telling her, like, I just wanted to be a game show host. Like, all of this just, came out. I still want to be a game show host. This is all just like, so I don't know how we ended up over here, but that's what happened. But I just feel like as I continued my studies, and even though I'm like an economics major from Wharton and a former investment banker, a recovering investment banker, I don't learn sort of the same way that other people do. And when they start talking about like, are you supply side or are you Keynesian? Like, I don't know. Like, those are all like very theoretical. I like to take things that are real and try to explain it. And I feel like that's always been a gift of being able to break things down and kind of explain them in these sort of Sesame Street kind of bites. So I feel like, just as I've uncovered and been in the media talking about things and learned more about the structure of our country, how it was built, what capitalism is, and just kind of, it's just been an ongoing formulation that I've kind of put it together in that way. And that's why I try to explain to people, because I feel like people get caught up in the semantics, like what's capitalism, what's social, and whatever. And that's why I tried to, when I created that spectrum that I put in the book, in the back half of the book, that I just try to explain, like, capitalism is just like freedom, choice, transparency, with the guardrails of the protection of individual rights, including property rights. Like that's all it is. It's just us having free choice versus central planning, which is the handful of people making decisions and using force and coercion and control. I feel like that's just a better way, because it doesn't matter what the label is and it doesn't matter the flavor of it, but it's like, do you want us to individually make these choices and have the freedom and reap the rewards and consequences, or do you like trust like a handful of goofballs to make these decisions and really think that that's going to somehow benefit you and everybody else? And so I feel like breaking it down and kind of stripping away all of the like weird, wonky academic stuff conceptually hopefully gives people a different framework, because that's just how I think about it.
If you like this content and want to hear other things like it, head on over to the website at blackmarketleadership.com. That's blackmarketleadership.com. There you can subscribe to the podcast, and you can even create a free members profile